Hey, you guys, this is Coach Kimberly for another live testimonial chat. Today, I have with me a special guest. We're doing a series, Life After Divorce. I was about to say my other series that I do, but tonight we're doing Life After Divorce. And I have here with me Mr. Damien, and he is I'm allow him to introduce himself so that you guys can kind of get a gist of who he is and what he do before we go into the conversation for tonight. So here we go. Go ahead.
First, not to correct you, but my name is Damon, not Damien. A lot of people get that mistake.
I'm
It's all
sorry. I
good.
don't even know why I knew that too. I don't even know why I said Damien. I knew that. Okay,
No
go
trip,
ahead.
no trip. But my name is Damon. I'm originally from Compton, California. People back here and a few other places know me as DMG, but I officially go by Damon Madrice Grayson now.
Mhm.
My background is in music and the entertainment industry. I was a single father for a long time. I've been married 3 times. Well, actually, two and a half. I'll explain that to you later.
Okay.
But yeah, here we are. Here we are. Glad to be here on your show, Kimberly.
Okay. I'm glad to have you. It's a pleasure. So, we're gonna get into this conversation. So, you said you was married 3 times, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So my first question is, I know the first question is how long you've been married and how long you've been divorced. So if you want to talk about each one, you can. You can answer that question however you would like to answer it. So yeah.
First time I got married, I was 25 years old. We stayed married for 7 years, but we was together for 5 of those years, and I just didn't divorce her until it was time for me to get married again. So eventually I ended up divorcing her, but we stayed together, like I said, 5 years. The second one, we were married probably about 4 years, but the second one, we got married, but we weren't married officially because the pastor never turned in the certificate, the marriage license.
Oh wow.
So
Okay.
yeah, so we were separated for like maybe 9 months, and I had met this woman in church. I had a choice of two women at the time, and I chose this one, and we actually eloped, and we stayed married for about 5.5 years, and I've been divorced for like 12 years now. So that's that.
Okay. Alrighty. Okay. Well, that's a lot, but um, of course, we go through a lot of different ups and downs and relationships and stuff like that. So, it's not abnormal, I would say. Um,
Hmm.
okay, second question. All right. So, in going through all of that, what would you say was your biggest challenge? And you can say each time about going back into single malehood.
Biggest challenge? It wasn't no challenge going back into it. I never been a dating type person, even though I was a womanizer. I
Mm,
never really courted a woman. It was either I like you, you like me, and we together.
wow.
So the dating part, even today, I don't do the dating stuff. Actually, as of this year, I've been out with two women
Hmm.
just for dinner as friends and stuff. But before then, 10 years, nothing basically. Yeah, so jumping back into dating it wasn't nothing for me because I've been working on myself for a long time. So I stayed away from women this time around on purpose. I had to take a few steps back and find myself before I jumped into any relationships, and it's done me well. I'm a better man because of it.
Yeah. So when you
Yeah.
say you was a womanizer, and I know a lot of men that are womenizers, but they would never admit that that's something that they are aware. Even if they're in the stage where they're trying to become better people. I think some people get embarrassed about different stuff like that. So how did you become to know like that was what you were like when
A
it hit
womanizer?
you? Hmm.
Later, I mean, when you're going through it, you don't have that title. I mean, you just think you just getting women and stuff like that. But to officially give myself that name back from back then, I had to look in the mirror at myself since I've been going through this my change, put it that way, my growth. I had to look in the mirror and tell the truth about myself, because you can't change if you don't admit who you are and what you are, the mistakes you've made. So yeah, it was fun while I was doing it, but then when I got older and I started having children and stuff, I just chose to change my life around. So I stopped. I stopped about when I got married to my second wife. At what I think we got married when I was 30. I was with her when I was like 29. So I stopped then. I stopped cheating, stopped doing all that at 29 years old.
Okay. And I agree with that. You have to definitely look in the mirror and see, you know, what is it that I don't like about myself? What is it that I want to change? Especially what is I need to change? Because how do I
Right.
keep getting into the situation that I'm in, that keeps getting me to this point where I don't want to end up? So it's definitely a look in the mirror moment to get you to the right course and the place that you want to be.
And that's what I'm trying to be, on the right course right now for the rest of my life. Because I'm a mentor and I help a lot of people. People call me all the time for advice, or just a ear to listen, or whatever the case may be. And I'll be a hypocrite if I tell somebody else to do something or act a certain way and I don't do it. So I've been living by my own advice as much as I can. I'm not perfect, but as much as I can, I do.
Hmm. And
Yeah.
I agree with that. I think that I'm not big into um, preaching one thing or just talking about one thing and then doing another,
Yeah.
because I definitely want people to take me serious, and I have a 10-year-old son. So for me, it's like, how am I going to say one thing and do another? Like, if I haven't
Yeah.
gotten to the point where I can live it, then I just want to sit back, take it in, practice it enough to the point where I'm like, okay, now you can see it on me, you know.
Right.
So
Right.
it's not just me talking it.
Mm-hmm. I had a woman ask me a couple weeks ago.
Hmm.
She was talking about, what is your ministry? What is your ministry? And I don't really consider myself a Christian anymore, but I am a believer. And I
Hmm.
just told her my walk is my ministry. Point blank, period. My walk is my ministry. What I do on a daily basis.
Right.
That's me. And I used to always hear my mother tell my father, you need to practice what you preach. So I get that now. I get it. I understand it clearly. Practice what you preach.
Me too. And that's exactly how I feel too, because it's a lot of different things that, of course, doesn't line up the way I feel like they should line up, or not right.
Mm-hmm.
And when people say, "Oh, I'm a Christian," and but I know a lot of them don't practice what they preach. So I'm like,
I
this
had
is.
on my, I'll be 52 in about a week and a half, July 9th.
Mhm.
But on my 50th birthday, I ended up going to Mexico, and I came back. When I came back, I gave a little picnic. I just called a few people that night and said, come out to the park tomorrow. So one of my buddies came out. I've known him for a long time. He's probably looking at this. I don't know. But I told him I wasn't a Christian no more. And he panicked and was like, no, but you anointed, D. You anointed, you this, you that. But the same person said he don't cuss, said he don't drink no more, say he don't do this and he don't do that, but I know he's cheating on his wife. So
Mm.
what's the point of saying all that and acting like you Mr. Perfect when I know for a fact what you're doing on the side?
Right. I agree. It's crazy, right? Like, you put one thing over another,
Right,
and that's not how it should be. And that's not to say that we are perfect or not perfect, but at least acknowledge that what you're doing is wrong.
right,
It's wrong, you may be in it, but it's wrong, and there is no justification for it. It's just
right,
wrong. Hey, and it's like, okay, I will do better, but right now I'm wrong. That's what it is.
right. Like
So
you said earlier, a lot of people wouldn't admit that they're womanized or whatever the case may be, but I live my life like an open book, period,
mhm.
point blank. My son does music, and I remember him writing a rap one day. He said something about, my pops taught me to put everything on my sleeve. In other words, just express yourself and just be truthful and honest with yourself, period. Because if you can't be truthful with yourself, you can't be truthful with nobody else. And then that means the respect level going to come down. If I know somebody lying to me, I'm not going to respect them as much as they would love me to respect them. But if somebody's telling me the truth, whether it's good or bad, I could respect that more than them being a liar and fake. That's just, that's just my point of view.
I agree. Because that's how I operate now. Like even when it comes to, friendships, or when it comes to family or anything, like I live as an open book and I don't mind sharing my story with anybody. And
Right.
it's like I'm gonna be honest. It may not look pretty, it may not look good. I don't know how you can do that or say that. The truth is the truth. And
Mm-hmm.
I am so since I got to that point, I am so free to it's like child, I don't even care. Like I'm free from it. It's nothing that I have to be embarrassed about, especially when, I'm not in that place anymore. So
Right.
no, I'm cool. It's good.
You
I
said the
don't
key
depend on
word.
somebody else.
You said the key word. You free.
Yes.
You keep yourself in bondage if you holding on to all them lies and whatever deceit or the past or whatever that case. You'll never be free. And
Right.
honesty, they say, what is it? The truth will set you free.
Hmm.
But I say honesty will sustain that freedom.
It will.
Right.
It will. Because you can tell one truth and that's where it ends. But
Mm-hmm.
what about the next truth?
Right. Right.
know? So it's a continuous thing. It's not just, one moment where no, you have to practice honesty. Some people just so used to lying that that's the first thing that come up in their mind. Like, oh, you lie about it or you try to and you lie to yourself long enough. Sometimes you might
You make
think
yourself believe it.
right. So but you're at the end of the day, it's just to deceive other people because of how it looks, because of
Mm-hmm.
how you don't want to be betrayed. But that's not doing anyone any good. You will stay stuck in that place. So, you
Right.
know, I definitely think that is the right way to go.
We care too much about what people think about us,
Hmm.
and you'll never be free like that either. Once you stop caring, you're free. And I mean, I'm still guilty of it to a point, but I'm much better today than I was, in prior years. I'm
Yeah.
much better today. I got freedom, and I walk in it on a daily basis.
Yeah. I agree with that. And what people think it's definitely not an overnight process. It's a day to day thing.
Uh,
Um, you choose to tell the truth. You choose to be honest,
right.
versus dishonest or telling a lie or deceiving someone. No, I choose to tell you the truth. So.
My ex-wife, the last one,
Hmm.
she told me to my face that she loves to lie.
Mm,
Then another one of my exes, a couple of months ago, I caught her in a lie, and then she admitted she lied. And she said, if I can't quote her, but basically, if it's gonna be something to make her look better or put her in a better position, that she have no problem with lying. Um,
mm,
I just can't do that. And to this day, I always tell her I don't lie, I don't lie. She was, and I can honestly say I've never lied to her,
mm.
nor my ex-wife. My first wife, I was young and I was out there, but other than that, I just don't practice lying. I just don't.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm not saying I never have lied. I'm not saying I never will, but it's something I don't practice at all. It's not in my DNA.
So when you mentor, do you mentor boys or girls or both? Who do you mentor?
Well, at this point, it's grown men and
Okay.
women too. But
Okay.
back in the day, I had a nonprofit organization called
Hmm.
Catch 'em Young, and what I used to do was take boys from 5 years old to 9 years old, and I took them all over Southern California. I took them to all the museums. I took them, and I did everything out of my own pocket.
Hmm.
What I used to do was pick them up from South Central LA, Compton, and Long Beach. And like I said, we went to all the museums. I took them to this place called Alvera Street, downtown LA, and showed them different cultures, Spanish cultures. I showed them Asian cultures, just different places. Took them to the Flying Museum in Santa Monica. Um, took them to the beaches and parks and stuff like that. I paid for all the food and everything, but I taught them stuff that they wasn't learning at home. Some of them kids didn't know how to tie their own shoes. They didn't know how to spell their names. They didn't even know their middle names. Little simple stuff like that. I taught them about life. So I did that for a while. And right before this, somebody else that I mentored just called me like 5 minutes before we got on this. And I'm like, I got something to do. He's like, okay, call me back. So I mentor a whole lot of people.
Okay, so what would be your advice to them about if one of them came to you talking about marriage or wanting to get married and relationships? What would be your advice to give to them?
I would say get some counseling before you get married.
Mm-hmm.
I think most people need counseling before they get married, especially if you have PTSD, stressful, you're full of anxiety. Yeah. That's going to take a toll in your relationship. And if you don't get rid of that before you jump into a relationship, it's going to ruin the relationship. Yeah. So my number one, I would say get some counseling first.
Yeah. I know a lot of people, and when you say get some counseling, a lot of people also feel like, premarital counseling and different stuff like that. But I think sometimes individual counseling is good too, because, a lot of people are dealing with different things that they don't want to deal with. They know they're dealing with it, but they try to pretend like they're not dealing with it. Yeah. And, they continue the cycle, keep going and going and going. And like you said, once you do get into a relationship, then it's going to affect that relationship, whether you feel like you got it under control or not. One day it's going to trickle down. So, yeah, I agree. Getting the help you need to deal with your own demons before you bring somebody else on board with you. And that makes it much worse, especially when kids are involved.
Right. Definitely, without a doubt.
Yeah. And I also think it takes a mature person to, acknowledge that they need to get some counseling to deal with themselves.
You have to be mature to do that. If you're immature, you're not going to admit certain things, and you're going to think you're perfect. You know what I mean? Going through my second divorce. No, the last one. I had left her. Mind you, she had taken everything from me, every single thing that I owned, including my children's stuff too. So I lived off of, my savings for like a year, and I wasn't working. And so after that, I became homeless with my 3 sons. Wow. I ended up in a homeless shelter with my 3 sons. And the moment I got to the shelter, they implemented that each person in the shelter have to get counseling. Now, I didn't know I was an arrogant person. I know this now that I was. But I told the counselor, I said, look, I'm a mentor. I probably can teach you some things. So she allowed me not to go to counseling for like 2 weeks. But then what happened was, I don't know if she used this as an excuse or whatever the case may be. She said, because my kids were going to counseling. So then she said I had to come up with my custody papers for my children, but I had to give legal custody of my children to my ex-wife that wasn't with her. I mean, that wasn't from her. So I couldn't come up, and I didn't want to talk to it was a bad divorce. It was terrible. So she made me go to counseling. Yeah. And after, I think the first or the second session, I realized that I needed it. I needed it bad, because she was like, well, I told her my past and stuff like that. And she was like, well, everybody comes to you. Who do you go to? And I was like, nobody. She was like, well, everybody needs somebody to vent, to get some stuff off their chest, and whatever the case may be, to ease your pain. And it worked. While I was there, it helped me out a whole lot. Yeah. Go ahead.
I agree, because sometimes we think we got it. Like, I got it. I don't need it. Like, I'm strong, and really that doesn't have anything to do with it. It's not about strength. And then and strength is also being able to acknowledge that you need it. That's being strong. In my eyesight.
It was a guy who I was in a shelter with. We stayed in contact with each other. And every time he used to call me, I was like, man, I just feel something inside that I would tell him, and whatever it was would always come out right.
Mm-hmm.
So this time he called me and he said, God told me you need this. No, he said you stressed out about something. You going through this emotional. I was like, man, I'm good, bro. Like for real. And I was like, man, I'm honestly telling you, I'm okay.
Yeah.
But he was like, why do you think God put you in a place that is they have mandatory counseling? I'm like, I don't know, bro, but I don't need it. But like I said, after I went the second session, I found that I did need it, and I called him and let him know that he was right. He was right. I had to humble myself and call him and let him know. Not to say that I was wrong, because I didn't think I was wrong at the time, but he told me that you so strong that you didn't know you was going through some things, which, like you said, strength, and that I think that was right. I was just used to going through so many things that I thought it was just normal, but it did help me out a whole lot.
Yeah, and I think it's kind of like it could be like how you brought up, where people say just put your head down and keep going. Just keep
Just
going.
suck it up, be a man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just keep going. So in the back of our mind, now that and I know you're older than me, but now that we're adults, it's like, okay, well, I got to keep going. Especially, you say you had your three sons, so it's like
right,
you want to be strong for them, and it's like, okay, I got to be strong for them, so I got to keep going. I can't let them see me,
right.
stop. So and so speaking of your sons, how did it affect them? What's the relationship and everything? How did they express to you how they felt?
Not really. Stuff is starting to come out now,
Okay.
but like my oldest son, I had him since he was born, since he was 3 months old.
Mm-hmm.
His mother took off when he was 3 months, and I had already told her, because we were going back and forth or whatever. I guess we were together for a couple of years, but we would break up. I kick her out, and she'll move out. Because come to find out, she was on crack.
Mm. Okay.
She was like 5.5 years older than me, but I just told her, next time around we break up again, we never getting back together, and I'm taking my son, and that's what happened. So he was always with me, but when that happened, I was doing well. I was doing really well,
Mm-hmm.
and then what happened? I met, because I wasn't married to his mother, but then I met my first wife, and she was taking care of him like he was her child, and that's why I ended up being with her, and and marrying her and being with her. But as far as the breakup, because my other two kids I had by my second wife,
Mm.
and when I broke up from my third wife, she had them. My second wife had them. I let them go back with her mother because of my situation.
Mm-hmm.
But then when I got into the shelter, I already had my oldest, because he's with me 24/7. And then I ended up getting them too, and then I ended up getting no, that was okay. I ended up getting my two sons, and that's when I got married. So we had the Brady Bunch. She had two kids, I had three kids, and then me and her ended up having two kids together.
Okay.
But to answer your question, the breakups, I always had to start over, because I always gave the women the house and all the money, and I just left a clean slate. So my kids suffered the most,
Yeah.
going to different schools and stuff like that. They suffered a lot. They suffered a lot, but they all strong now. I got one, my 21-year-old. He going through some issues, but I'm gonna continue to pray for him and be there for him as much as I can. My oldest son, he's in Dominican Republic right now. He just got married in September. My oldest daughter got married in September as well. She moved to Texas, so everybody's doing well now.
Okay.
But yeah, to answer your question, they kind of suffer too, just like me. I just did the best that I can do, and just loved them and loved them and loved them and loved them, supported them. Was at all the spelling bees at school. Never missed a football game. Never missed a baseball game. Never missed a basketball game. I was just the best dad that I could be. But they still had to go through because of my ex-wife. Come to find out, like a year after I divorced her, they started telling me that she used to abuse them.
Wow.
Yeah. They told me when I used to go to work that she used to whoop them for like no reason, for stuff like just, yeah. But it didn't come out till later.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they had to suffer a little bit too. But
Yeah.
when you're going through it, you just do the best that you can do. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I definitely
That's
agree.
it. That's it.
what you need, and it's definitely a mentally and emotionally exhausting, and
Yeah, it is.
of course, the kids suffer through it too. That's the bad thing. Like I feel like as an adult, I feel like okay, I can handle it. But when it comes to the kids, it's like, man, that's the part about it that you really hate. But
Yeah.
we
But
have
at
to
the
deal
time,
with
I wasn't worried about it. Not that I didn't care. It just didn't cross my mind because I knew I wasn't abusing my kids.
it. Hmm.
And I mean, when you going through, you just go through. I was just going through life. I didn't have time to really sit back and linger on if my kids are feeling sad because of this and that. And then my other two kids, anyway, on the weekends they used to go with their mother, so they had they was okay. My oldest son, he's the one who went through the most
Yeah.
because it was only me. His mother was long gone, not in his life. He's the one who suffered the most. He suffered the most. Let me plug this computer in.
Okay.
Yeah, but he suffered the most, but he's well now. He's straight. Like I said, he's in Dominican Republic right now with his wife on a vacation.
Hmm.
He got married and moved to Brooklyn, New York. We talk often. He's doing voiceovers right now.
Yeah.
He's about to do this major show in LA September 17th and September 18th. They're having a major gospel rap show out here, the biggest in the country. So
Yeah.
he's straight. And then I got my youngest son. He's in college too. He's in New Orleans.
Hmm.
He goes to Dillard.
Okay. Okay.
Yes. So we everybody came out good.
Yeah. Okay. And I know, like, when it comes to relationships and marriage today, I know that's when you say you had to start over and everything. I know that's a fear of a lot of people who invest in being married, and how many ever years they are married and stuff like that, because um, depending on, no matter who leaves, let me say that, no matter who leaves the marriage, if both people are starting over.
Right.
So sometimes it's just harder for the person who physically leave the home, because you have to get everything back, where you had, which I was the one who had to do that. So,
Me too,
um,
3 times.
I
Yeah.
understand. I did it twice, but I did it start over with the same person. So, because I married him twice, so I had to start over twice.
I
But
got questions, but I'm you asking the questions, so I'll chill out. Twice, huh?
yes, yeah, yeah.
What made
So,
you try it twice with the same
well,
person?
for me, it was, I always wanted to give my son a two-parent household, and that's the only child we have. And for me, I was like, okay, I wanted to exhaust all of my measures, and it was really nothing. I didn't lose anything going back, so I felt like, well, hey, if it worked, then I had everything to gain. But if it doesn't work, then I really didn't lose anything. So it was just like, but a little time, and that
Right.
was it. So, but I was willing to do that if it meant I could possibly give my son a two
Hmm.
parent household. So I decided to do it, and it just so happened that, yeah, the relationship was at an end. It was over, but we still co-parent, and to our son. So he still have both of us in his life. So that's the most
That's
important
good.
thing. Yeah.
That's good.
So yeah. So that was my reason. So
Gotcha.
you look back at it now, it's like, yeah.
That's
Yeah. But I learned a lot, and I would have to say, I'm glad I did, because it really revealed some things about the relationship and even myself.
hmm
So I was able to start over and move on, and be good.
At least you learn from it.
Yeah, didn't have any regrets. So that was that.
That's the key part. No regrets.
Right. So you know. Um, so I know you said that you are celibate, right?
Yeah.
So what made you decide to be celibate, to choose celibacy?
That's a part of my change.
Mm-hmm.
For one, I didn't want to continue being the same person that I was, and I knew I had to give up something. You got to sacrifice something a lot of times, and
Yes.
like I said, in the past I was a womanizer, and
Mm-hmm.
me being in the music industry and entertainment, easy come, easy go. So I had enough of that.
Right.
So since I been celibate, it's just one less stress in my life. Like I even said to date, no, I don't date. Like I'm good. I'm good. I'm my own best friend now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So
Get married again one day?
I'm not against it,
Okay.
but it's not a priority.
Okay. Gotcha.
Person, like I said, all the women that I've been with, for
Mm-hmm.
one, most of them approached me. I never even asked no. I never got on my knee or nothing. I was like, "You want to get married? Yeah, okay, we getting married." It was just like that all three times.
Yeah.
But I just lost my train of thought. But
Yeah.
the celibacy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's a part of my growth.
Mm-hmm.
I've when I first started, even before I became celibate, I remember I had made maybe 10, 12 phone calls to some people. And I said to every last one of them, if I have offended you of anything, I apologize. And that was a part of my growth too. Only one person said something, it was my mother.
Mm-hmm.
She said I raised my voice at her twice, which I remember once, but she said it was twice. So, hey, but
Yeah.
everybody else, it's just a part of my growth. That's all, period.
Yeah.
Like, no headaches, no, I just had I told you I just went out, a couple of, to dinner with a couple of times this year with two different women. And I
Mm-hmm.
just had to write one of them the other day, like, all that raising your voice at me not gonna work. I like you as a friend, but if you ever raise your voice at me, it's over, period, even as a friend. And she
Mm-hmm.
texted me back and said, I understand. Like, it's no, that's why I just stayed away from women. Like, I'm tired of that. And now at this point, but I've known this particular woman for 25 years, so that's why I can like deal with her a little bit longer than I would with somebody new. Because I just cut you off now straight up. But to me, it's working out for me. It's working out for me. No headaches, no arguing, no fussing, no fighting. And this time around too, when I do meet the right woman, my last wife was so bad that I told myself and programmed myself. That's why I'm changing. I'm gonna be the best man that I can be in the next relationship. I'm gonna treat my woman like a queen. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
like, I'm gonna put her on a pedestal
Yeah.
and be the best man that I could be for that woman, because now I'm being the best man that I could be for myself. I love myself today. Me being a mentor and being in the entertainment industry, everything always looks good to everybody. But
Mm-hmm.
when the lights is off, you got to live with yourself.
Right.
And I was an unhappy man, but I'm happy now.
Right.
Got my life on track. I live in a beautiful city. I'm good. My kids are grown. I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah, and I think that's what a lot of people are missing when it comes to finding a mate or having a great relationship. And it's because you're good all by yourself. So once you get to the point of you finding somebody good,
Yeah.
then they add to you, you add to them, and you can be good
Right.
together. Some people hadn't found the good within themselves first, so they have no good to give.
Right.
And
I
that's
had to be. I had to become. I had to become what I desire in a
right,
woman, in a person. Period. Just so if I'm an angry person, I'm going to attract somebody angry.
right.
I'm not angry no more.
Yeah.
I don't think I have PTSD no more.
Hmm.
Anxiety is gone now.
Yeah.
So in this last year, even attracting other business partners and stuff like that, men, in the last year, I have attracted some positive people,
Hmm.
very positive people that's helped me in the businesses that I'm about to be starting. I didn't mention to you, I just finished my book that I wrote. I finished it last Monday. I sent
Okay.
out for the copyrights last Tuesday.
Hmm.
So it will be released November 1st of this year.
Okay.
But so with that being said, the people that I'm attracting, I
Hmm.
didn't even try to attract. They just came, and they're all in positions to help me do what I need to be done.
Hmm.
So it helps not just with women, it helps with your whole entire life. You got to fix you.
Yes. Yeah. And that's
Yeah,
how the law of attraction works.
right.
That's whatever you put out, that's the energy you put out, that's what you're gonna get back.
Right.
And a lot of people haven't come to that understanding. Like, what are you doing? I hear a lot of people in talking about dating when we're discussing dating and stuff, and everybody has this long list of what it is that they require, what they need, and stuff.
Right.
But are you the list that you're requiring?
Exactly. We see it on
Are
Facebook all day. Right. On social media. Men bashing women, women bashing men. There's no good men out there. There's no good women out there. Just become a good person and you'll attract what you need.
right?
Bottom
And
line, period. And be patient too. Like I I became celibate like 10 years ago,
mm,
but honestly, I was embarrassed to admit that I was celibate.
mm,
So by me not admitting it, even though I would turn down women, it was some aggressive women
yeah,
I gave into. But
mm,
as of 5 years ago, when I started pronouncing it and putting it on Facebook, and yeah, I'm celibate now. What?
right,
It's
right.
made it easier, and I don't even put myself in that position. So I'm 5 years strong, being celibate.
Mhm.
5 years
Okay.
strong. Yeah,
Yeah. And so, what was the embarrassment about? Why was you embarrassed?
my ego, machoism, pride,
Yeah.
my past, being the man, but being strong, being a real strong person will allow you to be able to do that.
Hmm.
See, I was caring what too many people, what people was thinking about me too much. Like, D not the man no more, but I don't care now. So that was my fear, I guess. I've never really thought about it deeply, but yeah, I'm not embarrassed today. I say it loud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's that. Yeah.
That's good. I'm glad you're to the point where you're not ashamed and everything, because it's not, it's, I know there are a lot of outside pressures and different stuff like that. And not just when it comes to celibacy, with anything nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of different on being this way, men should be this way, and this. It's just a lot, and if you don't have a strong mind, and or if you're not committed to your own process, then it will
Right.
be easy for people to turn you away from, how you feel, what you believe, and what you said you're gonna do, and what you promise
Right.
yourself. So,
Right. And
um,
so the
so
manipulation from women, I don't allow it. I don't let it get to me no more.
yeah,
I'm good. I'm quick at cutting people off today. If
right,
it bothers my
right.
peace of mind, I don't want you in my life.
I was just
Period.
thinking
Point
peace too.
blank.
Like you said, I was just
It took
thinking
me
peace.
years to get where I am as far as peace. And if if
Mhm.
if you had the worst of something and then they have something good, you don't ever want to go back to that bad part. That
Right,
so
right. I agree.
this peace feels I feel better today than I have in my whole entire life. I've traveled the world. I've been with a lot of people, and I know a lot of entertainers and stuff like that, VIP
Hmm.
parties and backstage at concerts and movies and all that kind of stuff. I'm chilling by myself now, and I feel better today than I did back then. I love
Right,
myself with a
right. Because
passion.
peace, right? Your peace is not connected to other people. It's within you, within yourself.
I realize
And
that now. Like me being from Compton, I used to be an angry cat,
mhm,
and you basically got to fight for everything, whether it's physically, whatever the case may be. You got to fight yourself out the jungle to make money. You got to fight in relationships. You got to fight dudes on the street, whatever the case may be. And
yeah,
at this point, I try my best not to put myself in positions around people that I know that's going to irk me. But even then, as of I guess this year, I was on set. I don't know about 3 weeks ago.
hmm,
It was filming this TV show, and this woman was being extremely negative. Some of the stuff what she was saying was legit, but some she was just exaggerating. And I almost went there with her and start complaining too. Then I was like, "No, I'm not going down to her vibration. I'm gonna keep mine up."
right,
And that just let me know. Like I used to say, somebody pissed me off, and I just sock them and rough them up. My excuse was, you made me mad. You shouldn't have did this. You shouldn't have did that. No, I shouldn't have let them get under my skin. So today I take full responsibility for whatever actions. I don't blame nobody for nothing. I don't blame nobody for nothing. They didn't piss me off. No, I let them made me angry. So now
Right.
I nip it in the bud immediately and stay away from people like that today. And at the same time, if I'm around somebody like that, I just know how to keep my vibrations up higher and stay positive and not to let them affect me in any type of way. Yeah.
Right. And that's the thing. We make a lot of excuses for why we do the things we do, but the only excuse is it was because we chose to do it.
Right.
No matter what was done to you, you have to take responsibility for yourself and your actions.
Right.
Is no matter what, be responsible. You have to take
Mm-hmm.
responsibility for you and
Yeah.
accountability. Um, and that's what I had to learn when it came to me changing myself because I dealt with anger issues and lashing out and different stuff like that. So I had
Mm-hmm.
to, I found myself in situations where, you know, I could have been being in physical, domestic situations and stuff when I was really young. I mean, like teenager young,
Yeah.
and it's like my whole life could have been like so different. I could have done one wrong thing and I could have been in prison or in jail or something just in a split second. Like you make
It's happened to me a
decisions and
couple
stuff.
times. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and it's scary. I scared myself and I was just like, God, I need you to help me with this because I don't want to end up on this path. So, I learned to be accountable to my actions to myself and remove myself from anything that took me to that place and
Right.
anyone. So, we definitely have to do that. So I take full responsibility for myself now. So,
Hey man, that's good. You learned at an early age too. You didn't wait till you turned 50 years old to start changing.
yeah.
That's a good.
Yes, I mean, I had to because if I didn't, oof, I don't even know what where I would be now. So I'm glad that I did at an early age. So
Yeah, my anger has made me, and I ended up in jail a couple of times because of my anger, putting hands on people, and it's not cool. I mean, at the time, it's cool. You got to vent or you got to release some anger on somebody, but overall, it's not cool at all. And I put my
right,
kids in jeopardy and stuff too. So if you really start thinking about other people, especially your children, put them first,
hmm
it's not worth it to let somebody
right,
put you in that position to do something or say something that you shouldn't be doing or saying.
right.
Yeah, I know.
It's not. It's
Yeah.
definitely not. So, um, but I think those are all the questions that I have tonight.
Okay.
If you have anything else that you would like to say or anything, I'm all ears. If not, I don't want to take up all of your time tonight. So I'm going to end here. It was a joy. I thank you for joining me tonight. It was a great
Thanks for having me.
conversation. I'm quite sure anybody who's listening, they would be able to get something out of it.
I hope so.
And yes, I'm glad you're at a point of peace and growth and happiness, and I hope you continue that journey. I know I'm going to continue mine, and I hope you continue. I wish you well. And thank you for joining me. And thank you guys, whoever watched today on live testimonial chats. This is the end of our show, and I will talk to you guys, and I'll see you next time.
One thing,
Okay.
don't forget the book, November 1st. When His
Okay.
Ways Meet Yours. That's the name of it. When His Ways Meet Yours. Basically, when you start loving you, He'll love you too. There
Okay.
it is.
Where can they find it? Where are they going to be able to
I'm going
find
to
it?
send it on my website, mywordsofwisdom.com. And of course, it's going to be on Amazon.
Okay.
So we're getting
Awesome.
everything together right now. We're getting the whole team packaged and getting it ready right now. So November 1st,
Okay, great. I'll be looking out for it, and I know everybody else will too.
I'll be back 10 too.
Okay. Okay, great. Awesome. All right. Thank
All right,
you.
we
Have a
out.
good
All right, peace. How you get out of